What up guys, it is Justice here. Welcome to the second episode of the Bank Preset and Loadout series. This video is based on the bomb tank, as you can see by the title, and I'm going to go through firstly the range bomb tank setup, and then I'm going to go through the mage setup. Now I've got a couple of comments feeding to me from my last video. The last video was a mage DPS video and I wanted to max out in the gear. I do have seismics and I do enjoy that part of the game at the moment because I've been able to afford them. However, I do understand again that many people can't afford seismics. So a lot of roles for you guys out there who can't afford seismics, you usually base tank or you bomb tank as I did. So bomb tanking, the only reason why you would mage bomb tank over range bomb tanking is if you have seismic, in my opinion. The reason for that is because then you can DPS, you can switch to dual wield on phase 5 if needed, if one of your teammates die. You can go in smaller teams as well usually if you can size mage bomb tank. And some rotations, you know, you can 5-man Vorago with a Sage range bomb tank, which is what I'm going to show you now. However, if you're a lower level, or if you're a if you can't afford seismic, let's say, then a range bomb tank setup is ideal for you, and it's a lot better than a mage bomb tank for two reasons. Number one, DPS doesn't really matter if you've not got seismic anyway, and number two, with a range bomb tank with Sage as the weaponry, as you can see, 1,405 of them on the current worn item weapon main hand, then that will mean you can actually bomb tank from a further distance away from Vorago, which will help both you and your teammates mostly. Now that will save you having to give your teammates random blue bombs, and especially if you start getting into Vorago hard mode, then it's even more perfect, as there's so many occasions where you can get a bit too close to Vorago and your teammates will get blue bombs. Also in phase 9 on hard mode with the random blue bombs and everything, it can be an absolute nightmare. And also if you're trying to get that red bomb rather than your teammate, then it helps having Sage range bomb tanking because you can go further away. However, that's going in a lot more depth there for the elite PVMers out there who are doing hard mode, but this is just going to focus on normal Vorago. Alright guys, so that's the reasoning behind this setup, and that's really delving deep into analysis around why you're using it so you fully understand. Now I'm going to go into the current backpack and the current worn equipment. Now this is thanks to a good friend of mine, Cabelero, also known as David, and he's a great friend, and go to Vorago with him here and there, and he loves the bomb tank role. That's what he does primarily. So I asked him for a favor, could you send me your bomb tank setup preset loadout? So that's what he's done. As you can see, he's got Death Lotus. I'll go into that in a bit more depth and what you can do if you don't have the levels required to make this superior. But as you can see in the backpack, we'll start off with the boring part and go through that first. We've got 8 super restore flasks. This is a setup for 2 kills, by the way, 2 kill trips. There will be some of you out there who can do 4 kills, but again, that's for the elite bomb tanks out there. So this is just primarily focusing on the mass target audience. So we've got a setup for 2 kills, 8 super restore flasks. We've got 5 rocktail soups in the inventory. Again, you can just replace that for rocktails, and this is also assuming that you've got a full yak of rocktails as well. So you've already filled that up before you're loading out this gear setup. I've got three Saradomin brews. Again, these aren't necessary in terms of a necessity. However, they're quite handy in times where you don't want your adrenaline to go down because potentially you're having to lead up to barricade quickly, and you just want to heal 500 LP each dose quickly before you can get to that 100% ultimate. Now you've got 3 Phoenix necklaces as well. I have heard through the combat beta changes and everything, potentially they are getting nerfed. However, at the moment, they are definitely worth using, and probably still are going to be worth using after the combat beta changes are put into the live game. But at the moment, they are very useful. As soon as you hit below 2k life points, they will automatically heal you back up to about 4.5k or something around that. So it's really, really handy to have that. Again, Levathian ring. So as you can see there, the little brown circle, that's a Levathian ring. Now that's from the player-owned ports, and it does require quite a long time. You have to collect these trade goods called pearls, and it can take a while to get that. I'm not going to go into it too much depth. If you can't afford the superior Levathian ring, then I think it is still worthwhile buying the standard one from the GE. And at the end of the day, it does have an effect where it'll actually block damage. Now there is a percentage chance of that happening. It has a similar effect to the War Priest armor, which is a reward from the world event. World Event 2 and 1. However, this ring, if it's not superior, if it's just the standard ring, it has a 2% chance per attack to reduce the incoming damage of that attack by 50%. That's rounded up. So if you wear the superior, it is in fact 5% chance, so it's a lot better. However, it's definitely worthwhile just getting the normal ring if you are bomb tanking. And what you can do is, as you can also see in the worn equipment, it's got a ring of vigor on. Now, the idea is that you switch between the two. So the majority of the time you will be wearing the Leviathan ring, and then when you want to use an ultimate ability, when you've got 100% adrenaline, switch to your ring of vigor, and then when you use that ultimate ability, your adrenaline will then start from 10% rather than 0% due to the effect of the ring of vigor, and then switch back to your Leviathan ring. So I hope you understand that. It's definitely worthwhile trialing that out and utilizing that. That is where your pro bomb tanking techniques come into play. Now, towards the bottom of the backpack, as you can see, there are 3 types of runes. You've got blood runes, lore runes, and astral runes. These are 3 runes which allow you to heal whilst using the lunar spellbook. Now, this is another benefit of Saga range bomb tanking. It actually allows you to heal your teammates. If you are mage bomb tanking, you would not have this facility. So again, another benefit which many people choose range bomb tanking over mage bomb tanking for. Now, definitely take a spare yak pouch, because you can always forget, you know, once you're really getting immersed into those Vorago trips, it's always handy to have a yak pouch in there, either for a teammate where the familiar is about to run out, or for yourself. You've got 1 overload and renewal flask. Again, when you're bomb tanking, this is not a necessity. You don't actually, in fact, need to overload. Don't worry about what people say. Just don't bother. Your Sagai range bomb tanking anyway. DPS you really don't care about, and defense won't be a problem because you're going to be healing off the magic blue balls with your shield the majority of the time. So again, overloads is not a necessity. Adrenaline pot, however, can come in extremely handy when you've got to quickly get to 100% adrenaline to maybe whack on a barricade to prevent a red bomb from damaging you. Now, the bottom right hand corner of the current backpack, you've got an eye to protection. This requires 92 divination, comes in extremely handy because it allows you to protect an additional item upon death. Okay, so onto the current worn equipment. As you can see, Cabelero David likes to wear the Death Lotus armor. Now, this is the best tank armor in the game. It requires level 85 defense and constitution. Now, he's wearing the superior Death Lotus armor. Again, this requires level 90 crafting to make, and you can create this armor via the ports minigame, and it requires 160 lacquer, and that is a trade good which you can acquire from the storyline missions. Again, it does help to have 90 crafting in order to get that trade good, otherwise it will take you a number of numerous months. So again, I'd recommend getting that level first before you even trying to attempt it. The range bomb tanking gear you can buy, however, the standard gear from the Grand Exchange, however it has a lower life bonus. Now, the Death Lotus does have the highest life bonus in the game for tanking armor, and that's why, again, you don't really need overloads, because it allows you to heal a large amount from those blue balls, and it'll get your life points up quite high. Also, if you've got any range ascension DPSs in your team, they can constantly heal you throughout that kill. So Death Lotus armor, definitely worthwhile wearing. And if you haven't got the superior, I just want to clarify, it definitely is worth buying the standard Death Lotus armor from the Grand Exchange. It isn't that expensive. It's about 10 mil or less for the entire setup, probably less than that actually. And you easily will make your money back from Vorago with that setup. And again, as you can see on the boots, we've got the level 85 boots. These are tank armor steadfast boots. God, that's hard to say. To be honest though, I'd recommend wearing Glavins because again they have a higher defense against Mage, Steadfast have defense against range, and Rage Fire boots, they have a defense against melee. Now again, a minimal difference there, no big deal if you've already got Steadfast boots in the bank, just wear those. It's the life bonus which is the most important thing in this situation when bomb tanking. Now we have the Penance Aura. This is the best aura in my opinion when bomb tanking because you're going to have a spirit shield. As you can see, there's an allergy in there, and the spirit shield is definitely the best way to go when bomb tanking. That combination with the Penance Aura is so amazing. It's really, really effective, and if you watched my video, the barrow shields versus spirit shields in terms of damage reduction and the combat meter changes, spirit shields are still going to be the best guys, so definitely get one of those if you haven't already and utilize them when bomb tanking. And the Penance Aura really does a great job in counteracting the prayer reduction which happens when you absorb damage taken with the Spirit Shield. For those who like statistics, here we go. The Penance Aura enables a player to gain prayer points equal to 5% of any damage they receive, and the Spirit Shield is the same but opposite. So any damage received, 6% of that damage will be reduced on your prayer points. So essentially, they both pretty much counteract each other out. There is only a 1% difference there. Now, one thing I would swap out is the gloves he's wearing. He's currently wearing War Priest gloves because he doesn't have any others at the moment. However, I would buy the Tracker gloves. The Automaton drop these gloves, and they are level 85 from the Grand Exchange. Not that expensive, well, sort of are. I don't know, they must be around 11 to 15 mil maybe, but definitely worth wearing if you can afford them. If not, then at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what gloves you wear because you've got the Death Lotus bonuses anyway. The gloves are called Tracking gloves, by the way, not Tracker. The Sage are throwing spears that require 72 range to wield, and players can make them using items gained from the Jadinko layer. So again, dirt cheap. They are literally, oh, they are so cheap. They're about 274 coins each from the Grand Exchange, and you won't be using loads of them. So yeah, buy a few thousand and whack them in your inventory. Really, really cheap. Definitely worthwhile having these for the long range effect. Alright, so the majority of this video was based on the range bomb tanking setup. However, I'll just brush over the mage bomb tanking setup, and again, it's for the reasons that it's only really worthwhile doing a mage bomb tank setup if you've got seismic. So if you haven't got seismic, then I would strongly recommend to use the range bomb tank setup with the Sagi. Due to that range, due to that distance, you can go from Vorago, and also the fact that you can heal your teammates. So as you can see briefly on the preset worn equipment tab on the right hand side of the screen, you can see the mage bomb tank setup is to wear Sea Singers. Again, it's the highest defense. If you've got Tectonic, just wear that as well, but Sea Singers is the best setup you can wear for when tanking. It's the highest mage tank armor in the game. Now, the things I would swap out there are the boots for Rage Fire boots, and the gloves I would swap out for the level 85 static gloves. Both tanking armor setup rather than DPS. And as you can see, it's a very similar setup to range bomb tanking otherwise in terms of the Sign of Life, Penance Aura to cancel out that effect of the Spirit Shield. So the worn equipment was from a friend called Tiiger, also known as Joe. He's a really good friend again, so thanks for that. And in the bottom right hand corner is the inventory setup by NexicanNoah. She's a very experienced bomb tank, and she also has a great Twitch live streaming, which I'll leave the link in the description below, so definitely worthwhile going checking out her stream. I think she's got about 428 followers at the moment. It's going really well, and she streams a heck of a lot. I think last night they were doing melee only Rise of the Six, which was really fun, and they did actually manage to successfully get a couple of kills. So again, really worthwhile going to check out that stream. She's got 226,000 air runes. I think she's gone a bit OP with that. You don't need to get that. It's not a requirement. All right. As you can see as well, just 6 super restores is enough. Some Saradomin brews there. As you can see, the bottom left hand corner, she's got an offhand weapon, the Singularity Orb. That comes in useful if the bomb tank is having to be required to DPS. Also, you might have to switch roles halfway through the kill and improvise. And she may also need to DPS in phase 5 if one of the teammates die and she goes down to 4 or 5 man, you know, then a Singularity Orb will definitely be needed. A Sign of Life, a Portent of Life in the bottom right hand corner, that requires 99 Divination. Again, not required. If you do have that facility, then go for it and get it. Otherwise, don't bother and just wear a Sign of Life. She also happily shared her ability action bar with me, so I can show that now on screen as well. This is the bar she uses when she mage bomb tanks, so feel free to pause the video and copy this bar and try and practice and utilize with it. As you can see, the majority of the bar is made up of defense abilities for the main reason that that is what you'll basically be using the majority of the time. And then at the beginning there are 3 basic abilities which she will use just to build up her adrenaline. Alright guys, so I'm going to end that video here for the bomb tanking bank pre-setup and loadout guide. I really do hope you found it useful. If you did, let me know in the comment section, and anything else which you could assist bomb tankers with, I urge you to comment. Now, I'm going to end this video with a Spotlight Heist teaser. I've recently made this video, and it was my previous video which I uploaded. I do highly recommend for you to go and check this out. Spent a lot of effort, about 6 hours worth of editing. It's quite comical. Feedback given to me so far is that they've enjoyed it. So without further ado, here's the teaser. What?
A woman nurse, a sexy nurse holding a sack, you know, like over the shoulder. It's quite sexy already.
What is in that sack?
It's fully loaded though, so yeah.
Fully loaded. Oh, good.
I see something there. What the hell?
Are you a priest?
Is this some kind of a trick to make me say something?
No. Jack, are you actually guarding?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just chilling there. Mr. Fox, you tell him what to do. You're the robber.
Just run around, find loot, get it, get back to the ship, do it again.
How does this even... Jesus Christ, I can't even find anything.
Look very carefully.
Great.
That's such good advice.
Yeah, it's good advice.
I don't know. I'm not a pro at this game.
I expected you to, Jesus.
Justice!
Jacko and Lolly.
You sexy half-naked man.
I'm a robber!
Oh no!
Yay!
You got the news!
Yay!
No!
Yay!
Vampire shopkeeper. Priest.
Looking-
Vampire shopkeeper priest.
That's like the weirdest combination.
Yeah.
Oh, they want to do a trio? I don't know what
Like the
baby that's
start
gonna
of
come out from.
It's the start of a weird joke.